On 20th of April of 2000, 22-year-old Yuri Lipski embarked on a dive at the Blue Hole. Despite his young age, Yuri was an experienced and qualified scuba diver, fully aware of the unique challenges on this treacherous site posed. With his extensive knowledge and skill, Yuri was expected to have a safe dive. His confidence and abilities was unwavering, as he had a strong desire for daring explorations. But the Blue Hole, with its deceptive beauty and hidden threats, held dangers even for the most seasoned divers. Yuri's confidence led him to the edge of an abyss, where the darkness and depth began to play tricks on his mind and body. The calm waters above masked the deadly depths below, creating a hauntingly beautiful trap. As he descended, the pressures of the deep and the strange silence of water began to close in around him. What started as a thrilling adventure quickly turned into a harrowing fight for his survival, where even the most minor mistake could mean the difference between life and death. And then what happened next was nothing less than a nightmare turning into a daunting reality. To discover the whole story, watch the video till the end and subscribe to our channel for more cave exploration videos. Preparations for the exploration journey. Located in the northern region of Dahab, Egypt, the Blue Hole is a notorious site for diving, drawing adventurers eager to test their limits. This underwater sinkhole plunges to a depth of 394 feet and has earned a reputation as the Diver's Cemetery, with approximately 130 to 200 recorded deaths in recent years. It stands out as one of the most dangerous diving locations in the world. Yet, despite these hazards, the attraction of the Blue Hole continues to attract divers from around the globe. The cliff opposite of the sinkhole was dotted with plaques, solemnly remembering those who lost their lives in its depths. The Blue Hole features an opening called the Saddle that leads to the sea, with a shallow depth of around 20 feet. There's also a long tunnel known as the Arch, extending about 85 feet with a roof at 181 feet. The base of this arch slopes down to nearly 394 feet as it approaches the sea, teeming with vibrant reefs and coral fish. Its accessibility and calm waters make the Blue Hole a popular diving site, despite its deadly reputation. In 1968, Alex Shell and his team set a diving record at the Blue Hole, descending just over 383 feet using modern scuba equipment. It was during this expedition that the arch was discovered. By 1982, the Blue Hole had become a regular spot for recreational divers. Divers typically begin at a nearby point, descending through a narrow cave known as 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧, named for the noise their tank makes against the cave walls. They then move through an opening into the open ocean, following the shore wall before exiting via the saddle. Alternatively, divers can enter the beach and dive directly into the hole at the saddle, aiming for the arch. Yuri Lipski was well aware of the Blue Hole's dangers, but believed in his abilities and was eager for a daring exploration. One of his ambitions was to execute a bounce dive, a risky maneuver where diver quickly descends to great depths before returning to the surface in less than 15 minutes. This practice can easily lead to decompression sickness, but Yuri seemed unbothered by the risks. The Blue Hole's arch is not just a challenge for experienced divers, it demands the skill of a technical diver. Years of experience in less precarious environments cannot substitute for the specialized training and equipment required for such a dive. Technical divers like Tarek Omar and Alex Hayes, well versed in the Blue Hole's treacherous conditions, emphasize the need for deep knowledge before deep dives. Tarek often remarked, "They want to get into the deep water before they get into deep knowledge," underscoring the critical need for thorough preparation. Before his dive, Yuri met with Tarek, expressing his desire to film the Blue Hole's arch. Impressed but cautious, Tarek advised Yuri to undergo 2 weeks of extensive training. However, Yuri was only in Dahab for the weekend and insisted on diving despite his lack of specific training. He sought out other local instructors, but all refused due to his insufficient experience. Undeterred, Yuri decided to dive alone. On April 28, 2000, Yuri prepared his gear: a single air cylinder, a helmet with an attached camera, and a weight belt. With everything set, he began his fateful descent into the Blue Hole. Inside the Blue Hole, Yuri Lipski began his descent into the depths of the Blue Hole Cave. Almost immediately, he realized his rate of descent was alarmingly fast. Frantically, he attempted to slow down using his 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧 control device, but to his horror, nothing happened. The device failed to respond, likely because Yuri had more weight than it could handle. Perhaps the camera he had attached to his helmet added to his weight, disrupting the balance and putting him down further into the depth. As Yuri fell deeper and deeper, far beyond his intended depth, the nitrogen levels in his tank began to dangerously deplete, saturating his body with nitrogen. In no time, he found himself at a depth of 262 feet. Diving beyond 100 feet exposes divers to nitrogen narcosis, a condition where the increased pressure of nitrogen affects the brain, leading to hallucinations, euphoria, confusion, impaired judgment, and a false sense of confidence. The video recording revealed that Yuri was succumbing to these effects. He began to lose control, panicking in a desperate attempt to return to the surface. In his panic, Yuri may have overfilled his 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧 control device, resulting in a catastrophic blowout. This malfunction further compromised his ability to control his 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧 and position, sealing his fate. Diving beyond 213 feet also introduces the risk of oxygen toxicity, where the heightened pressure makes oxygen poisonous to the nervous system. Symptoms include difficulty breathing, dizziness, and even seizures. Unlike technical divers who carry out multiple gas tanks with a mix of gases to combat these effects, Yuri was using a single nitrogen-oxygen mixed cylinder, which only exacerbated his condition. As everything around turned black, the camera on Yuri's helmet captured the haunting sounds of his struggle to breathe. For agonizing minutes, he could be heard screaming, his breaths becoming increasingly frequent and shallow. Desperately, he tried to shed his gear to stop the relentless pull downward, but even without it, he was too deep. The crushing weight of the water made resurfacing impossible. In a final, futile attempt to survive, Yuri removed his regulator. The camera recorded his last moments, showing him frantically kicking and stirring up dirt until he succumbed. Yuri's camera, still intact when his body was recovered, provided chilling evidence of his ordeal. The 7-minute video dispelled any myths of supernatural forces causing deaths in the Blue Hole. Instead, it showcased a tragic tale of a diver who ventured beyond the limits of his technical knowledge into a place where the beauty of the Blue Hole masks its deadly embrace. Recovering Yuri's body. After the tragic incident, Yuri's devastated mother begged 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧, one of the world's most renowned deep-water divers, to recover her son's body from the Blue Hole. 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧, a seasoned diver who had lost count of the bodies he had retrieved from the Blue Hole's seabed, agreed to help. He commented in numerous interviews that the number of bodies he had recovered easily exceeded 100. All of them experienced divers who had fatally underestimated the dangers lurking beneath the Blue Hole's deceptively tranquil surface. 2 days later, 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧 found Yuri's lifeless body at a chilling depth of about 302 feet. He presented Yuri's belongings to his heartbroken mother, including the still functioning camera that had recorded the young diver's final moments. Although Yuri's face was not visible in the footage, the video captured his noticeable anguish and struggle as he descended into the abyss. What began as a routine dive for Yuri turned into a terrifying ordeal. The recording showed his rapid descent, the frantic attempts to slow down using his malfunctioning 𝗔𝗕𝗢𝗨𝗧 control device, and his ultimate panic. Disoriented and breathing heavily, he kicked up the clouds of sand as he struggled in the depths, a clear sign of his increasing desperation. In a final, futile effort, he removed his breathing equipment, sealing his fate. Yuri's demise was a stark reminder of the perils of overconfidence. He had ignored the essential checks to ensure his equipment was functioning correctly, dived without undergoing the necessary training, and ventured alone without a partner. The additional weight of the camera only compounded his problems. His tragic end highlights the brutal consequences of underestimating the Blue Hole's dangers, turning what should have been an adventurous dive into a disturbing, deadly dive. That's all about our today's video. If you liked the video, press the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos featuring haunting in-cave incidents.